Hi, it's Datache, and have you heard of Gooseworx? She's an American music YouTuber who I'd say a couple years ago would have been known mostly for their Undertale music remixes, or even their work on projects like Has Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss. But to me at the very least, she'll always be known for her recent projects, like the Pink City cartoons. This loosely connected universe of surreal horror animations has developed a pretty decent following of its own. And who wouldn't for such classics as an acid trip of a video about existentiality and probably capitalism, or an acid trip of a video about existentiality and probably capitalism, or the Dali Boxman Show, or an Okay, jokes aside, the striking character designs, bizarre visuals, and absolutely banging music. Incredibly memorable, and even leak into meme culture a little. Which is why it should be no surprise that some of the Pink City cartoon DNA has made it into Gooseworx's recently announced collaboration with Glitch Productions, the amazing digital circus. With a trailer, a synopsis, and a bunch of tweets about the world directly from the creator out there, I decided it'd be good to try and go over all of it in one video, since I haven't really seen anything like that out yet. Before we get into the trailer though, I mainly want to talk about the synopsis and some inspirations for the show, just so you have a little context. A woman gets trapped in a crazy virtual world along with 5 other humans, and are now subject to the whims of wacky AI and their own personal traumas. This is what we got in terms of bare minimum information, with this AI referring to Kane, who we will get to later, I have a lot to say about him, and the mention of 5 other human characters. According to the Goose herself, the show's inspired by retro 3D, like PS1 era games and Poppy the Performer. As well as describing it as being influenced by I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, which bodes well. And while the trailer we got was admittedly tame, I think the potential for horror is very present within what we got. So how about we take a look? It opens up with our boy Kane introducing us to the amazing digital circus. I said the thing, we can roll credits now. He's voiced by Alex Roshan, which I hope I pronounced correctly. Some of his recent stuff has been a lot of Spamton Deltarune voice content.
NFTs?
And I get the feeling that the slightly disconnected from reality used car salesman vibe is gonna make Kane a treat to watch. Back to the video at hand though, it's pretty clear Kane has a lot of control over the virtual world, literally flipping through rooms in the circus, which are all gorgeous by the way, with the click of his fingers. Although, I do want to draw attention to this room with the weird Nanny McPhee medicine ink pool in particular. Yeah, I know every Twitter user and their grandma has pointed out the black tendril in the following shot, but has anyone actually thought about what it is? It's pretty clear that whatever forces beyond Kane's control that are at work here are likely where the true horror of this circus will lie. Considering that Goosey McBoosey stated Kane isn't actively malicious, but just doesn't understand humans well. But all we can do for now is speculate. My current theory is that it's another AI, considering the website description refers to wacky AI, as opposed to an AI or just Kane. But I don't really have enough evidence to say anything definitively, so I'm not gonna try and push it as fact or anything. What I do know though is that out of any force in the digital world, that mysterious black paint-like goop is probably what will force Pomni and the gang to face their personal trauma. Oh right, Pomni. I don't actually think I've mentioned her this video. She's Kane's first victim. Despite everything the internet may try to convince you of, she was eating a sandwich before she was taken into the digital world. Yeah, people have really taken a liking to her, and her feet, I guess. I don't entirely blame them. Well, for the liking her thing, not the feet thing. These two designs go very hard, and I'm going to gush about them for a second, and I'm not sorry about it at all. The Pink City cartoon characters have like two very specific traits to their designs that really bring them to life. Okay, more like three, but one of them is literally tied to the animation, and I'll get back to that in a second. As for the design elements, asymmetry and large eyes are present in most major characters. Runmo has these big red eyes with crosses through them and a bean-shaped head and body, and Elaine has these large eyes with flower petal-shaped pupils and this absolute unit of a Phineas-esque triangular head. The eyes of these characters are constantly exploited, used to help characters, most of which don't even have mouths, express themselves for every second they're on screen. Similarly, their asymmetrical designs have always given them a sense of direction despite being entirely flat models being rigged. Both Kane and Pomni have this asymmetry, just to a lesser extent. Kane has heterochromia, but also one eye is slightly bigger than the other, while Pomni's asymmetry is just mainly limited to the colors of her jester outfit. And I mean, it makes sense considering the show's animated in 3D. The dramatic geometry scene in Runmo and Elaine aren't really necessary to portray depth. But we definitely keep the bouncy movements of the rigged character models. Like, this trailer was animated by Kevin Temmer, and he knocked it completely out of the park. You can totally see his experience with how Kane and Pomni are just chock full of life and expression. Every hand wave and flick of the wrist by Kane, and the way their eyes bounce with shock or delight or disappointment is the best, and made it an absolute treat to watch. Anyway, I'm gonna stop gushing about this because I could go on all day about how fucking Pomni's eyes look like balls they'd use in a circus, or the entire design of Kane's mouth head and how it curves like lips but still looks entirely natural, or some other shit that's already made me fall in love with these two. But we're gonna move on to the info that we got from Gooseworx on Twitter. There isn't much to go over here, to be honest, other than many memes that made me question my sanity in ways I haven't really before. She made note of the third character revealed in the trailer that wasn't the quirky black hibiscus. There was speculation it was this face in the door of one of the hallways Kane teleports into, but it was confirmed to be this toothy guy on the please stand by screen. You know, from when Pomni gets stabbed. Still leaves room to speculate on what the clown door is for, but we have nothing to really definitively say anything about it. I'll end off by talking about Glitch themselves a little, since I've kinda neglected to mention them up to this point. They're the ones animating and publishing the show, if you hadn't realised by this point. In preparation for this video, I finished Meta Runner and caught up with Murder Drones, and I can say, they are certainly shows. Okay, well, Murder Drones is shaping up better than Meta Runner ever did, which, let's be honest, like, it didn't really feel like it was that thought out and felt more style than substance. But for Murder Drones, at least, the writing is just...
I'm not mad at you, by the way, just generally hormonal!
It was something I had a couple friends who were initially worried about Digital Circus being in the hands of these guys, but considering Gooseworx seems to be the one writing this, I don't think we need to be too concerned about how this will turn out. Of course, we won't really know till we get our hands on any more content, but I think we can see the amount of potential present in just this teaser alone, and I'm super excited for what's to come. Hey, if you watched this far into the video, thanks for sticking around. Maybe check out some of my other stuff? I'm mainly focused on art videos, but I have a variety of future content planned. I know this took a while to come out, the editing has been taking forever.
We've been here for weeks.
Plus, I got sick, plus, I'm in uni, meaning I'm drowning in those assessments, baby! Regardless, hope you enjoyed, and until I crawl back out of my lurker cave, I'll see you guys in the next one.